Hey guys, I'm Chrissy Burow. I'm part of the team here at C3 Church, Oxford Falls in Sydney. Today I'm going to talk to you about dynamics of playing behind a speaker. Obviously we're playing keys today, so if you watch the other videos I've done one on chord progressions and given you a few different options of what you can play behind a speaker. But that's not enough just to play the chords. You need to be able to have dynamics to build with the speaker and to really partner with them to minister. So I just want to give you a couple of key points and we're just going to jump into what that actually looks like practically. But one of the things I would say is partner and match the speaker's dynamic. So if they're really going for it and loud and going, kind of really trying to make a point across, there's urgency in their voice, make sure you go there in terms of your dynamic. So if you don't want to be playing like a chord progression that's really peaceful. Whoops. You want to play a right chord progression. I mean, if they've got urgency in their voice and they're really trying to get a point across and you're just doing this, it doesn't really help them at all. So you really want to make sure that you're really matching what they're doing and that you're in a moment that you're able to pull back so that you can just let it sit at any moment. And so that, I mean, a lot of that is having the skill and ability to be able to do that, but also having your spiritual antenna up so that you're really aware of what's happening and that you're kind of not zoning out. You're not playing background music. You're creating an atmosphere. And to do that, you have to be able to match what they're doing, match where their vocal range is going. And in terms of, are they rushing? Are they trying to get a point across? Go with them because you can really push them into a new level. But make sure that you're really aware of not doing that and pushing them somewhere that they don't want to go either. So you're not playing over the top of them, you're playing right underneath them. So just make sure that you're really aware of that because there is a difference. You can kind of push someone in somewhere that they don't necessarily want to go. So play like right underneath them, that you're not going over the top of them, that you're not kind of overpowering them, and that you're listening so that if they are making a point and pulling back, that you're not still going for it and like in your own little world jamming away and realize that, oh, whoops, I missed the point. So just make sure that you're super aware, that you kind of, your ears are open, your eyes are open, you're watching. I always find I watch body language as well. When I'm playing, I'm kind of not in my own little world, just focused on what I'm doing, but I'm actually watching. I'm looking at the speaker more than I'm looking at what I'm playing. So in terms of voicings, I always find, like I've said before in the other one, my hand's kind of locked in position. And then I'm just basically, I'm finding hooks. I'm a really big fan of finding a hook because you can build on a hook. As soon as you start kind of playing just random melodic pieces, you can't really build on it. You can, I mean, it sounds nice, but you can't build on it. As soon as you find a hook, you can start increasing your left hand. Your left hand becomes the bass instrument, essentially, when no one else is playing. Let me clarify that. The bass players are probably like, but when no one else is playing, your left hand becomes the bass instrument. So be really aware of that. I obviously am really careful during a service and during a set that I'm probably not playing much left hand at all. I don't need to. I have a bass player. But when I'm by myself, that becomes my only kind of one of the keys that I can use to create rhythm, to create intensity is by moving my left hand. So if I was, so you can, and then if I'm wanting to create a hook, so I'm creating something that I can repeat. A hook is something that you repeat over and over again. And once you find that, you can build on it. And so I can pull it back at any time. So I'm still playing the same notes, but I'm just able to pull it back whenever I need to. Then I'm just listening, I'm watching and I'm listening. But I'm finding something that I can repeat over all the changes, because then it's not this noticeable, what's going on there? Like, what are they creating their own, like, I don't want to create my own thing. I want to enhance whatever's happening. So finding a hook that I can just repeat over things is super helpful because it allows you to be able to build on it. You can pull back the dynamics really easily because you're not jumping around the piano. So find a hook or something that you can repeat. I would also say just be able to pull back at a moment's notice. Like I said before, I always think of playing behind a speaker with dynamics as it's like a river. And, a river has ebbs and flows. It has moments that it goes really quickly and moments that it pulls back. So be able to do that. If I'm playing, again, finding a hook, if I'm in the key of A, so again, I'm finding something. You'll notice again, my hand's locked in place, essentially. It's got hard, like my wrist doesn't move, but my fingers do, and I'm just finding something that I can play over all the changes so that I can really build it. And again, don't play something that's just, I would never probably behind a speaker, very rarely, unless it's a really quiet, peaceful moment, would I ever just do that? Because I think in conversation, no one's ever silent. Otherwise, it's not a conversation. No one ever speaks with big, awkward pauses. They always speak. There's a flow. There's a natural rhythm. And I think in what you're playing, there should always be a natural rhythm to it. There should always be something that just feels like there's movement happening. Because you can do that quietly. And I think as long as you do it consistently, it sounds normal. If you were to do that and all of a sudden stop and have an awkward pause, that's when it's weird. But I think if you've got just this constant rhythm flowing, it's never going to be distracting because you're not changing much. You're not changing. You're not creating a melodic pattern or something that's going to be really noticeable. But you just have this constant rhythm. Think of it as a rhythm of conversation. And at times that's going to be faster. At times it's going to be more dynamic. But it's always going to be flowing. It never stops flowing. So just keep that in mind when you're doing dynamics. Just be really aware, eyes open and ears open to be able to hear where you're meant to be.